Pete lied on his CV. I don't know why he did it. Anyway, right, go. I set myself a challenge for Ignite. A lot of people are talking about this book, and I tried reading it, and as the Times said, it is a very, very dull read, but everybody's chatting about it, and it's terribly zeitgeisty. So here in 5 minutes is what I know from finding out Wikipedia. Right, the starting point is that economists and classical economics would have you believe it's a science, and the market tells you things and you can predict them. And as we've been talking about earlier, that's just not the case anymore. And economists are clearly human beings who are idiots. This is Temple Mead Station. Look at them queuing out into the traffic rather than along the wall. And humans are stupid. This is the big problem. Much as you tell people, that place is just Starbucks by another name, they'll go there. And as Mr. Poulter did at the last Ignite, there are lots of, we all have problems. We do what our friends do. We assume people get paid the same as us and that the world is a bit like the world we know. But that's not true because that's bias. And the point of that, and the reason I talk about this, is because what government's trying to do is to change the way people sort of eat or smoke or drink. And the way you do that is not by banning it. The way you do it is by trying to sort of nudge or steer people in a nice direction, certainly in this day and age. And the trouble with that is it's a double-edged Wilkinson sword. But all of this is manipulation, and it's done by marketing created this, and it can be for good and it can be for bad. So I'm going to tell you some of the methods that are used. The first one is default settings. If you ask people to opt in to being an organ donor, 42% of people take it up. If you ask them to opt out, 82% of people take it up. I have a jug of water on my desk and it stops me drinking tea because it's my default setting. The second thing that we talk about is the paradox of choice, which if you've read Barry Schwartz's great book, it's this whole thing that people, if you give them too much choice, they won't make any choice at all. And that's a shocking thing for marketeers. But it's a good thing for us as people because the worst thing we can do in the eyes of government and marketeers is be like Muttley and stand there and do nothing. So always remember you have a choice in these things, even if people are trying to persuade you otherwise. Apple in particular, who we'll come on to. Apple iPhones. This is setting using price to tell you how valuable something is. Apple never have a sale on iPhones. Tesco sell chickens for $1.85 a kilo. Go figure. Which one are people prepared to spend more on? The second thing you can do is use scarcity to create value. Frederick of Prussia in the 18th century wanted the peasants to eat potatoes because they were cheap and easy to grow, and the peasants went, bleh. So what Frederick did is he grew potatoes and put guards around it who weren't very good, and all the peasants came and stole them, and the potatoes really took off. Another thing is less is more. Stop putting more stuff into it. Apps that do one single thing have been much more popular than sort of mobile browsers. TVs with DVDs built in are universally derided for being shit. Loss aversion. People don't like losing money. The Green Bank in the Philippines had this brilliant anti-smoking plan, and what you did is the money that you had that you would have smoked, you put in an account, and then 6 months later, if you hadn't smoked, you got the money back. If you had, they gave it to charity, and it went up 53%. I was saying that we are a herd. And this is about, I'll have what she's having, which when it comes to spray tans is a really bad idea. But in Australia, what they did is for water bills, they averaged it over the street, Ramsey Street I'm sure, and they came down. Instant feedback. These speed cameras are 50% more effective and cost 10% of the ones that send you a bill. Strangely, they haven't been adopted. I don't know, it must be to do with the revenue generated, but we wouldn't say that. Ease of access and being able to do things now. Charity is a great example of this. Teenagers notoriously bad at giving to charity. Once you enabled them to do it with text messaging, charity donations once teenagers went up. Just Giving is another great example of that, I think, because it enables you all to do it. Chunking up large things into small things. How do you eat an elephant? One mouthful at a time. Great story about a chap at a charity do where everybody paid a lot of money. He said, right, hands up, who knows the balance of their current account to the nearest 10 quid? No hands went up. He said, right, everybody put 10 quid in a bucket. And that's framing as well. And this is a great example. Marks and Spencer's Plan A, there's no Plan B. I don't think so. Give your clothes to Oxfam, we'll give you a £5 voucher to spend at Marks and Spencer's. No, really? This is a great story about lipstick in an American girls' school. The girls were putting lipstick, kissing on the mirror, so the head got all the girls in, and a janitor, as they call them, and said, janitor, show them how we clean the things. And she put her mop in the bog, wiped the windscreen, put it back. Girls stopped doing it for some reason. Last thing I'm going to say. The traffic light food thing is absolutely brilliant way of steering people's behaviour. The MEPs have just agreed, because of huge lobbying by the food companies, that they're going to stop doing it. The food companies are now taking over Change for Life. So if you do get the option to influence people's behaviour, be good.